My name is Lena, and for the last 10 hours, I'd been driving straight into the darkness of rural Indiana. But it was only when I stopped that the real terror began. To me, this truck cab is the only thing separating me from a past I desperately wanted to forget. It's my 80,000-pound fortress. But that night, the fortress didn't feel so secure. I looked in the side mirror, and what I saw in the dimly lit lot made me grab my pepper spray. It wasn't fatigue that was going to kill me. It was the living. I was hauling a high-value load from Arizona to New York, one of those runs that makes you see double from too much caffeine. It was pitch black. And I'd hit my hours of service limit about 10 minutes back. Federal law doesn't care if you're 5 miles from a decent spot. When a logbook says stop, you stop. I pulled into what felt like the most forgotten rest area in Indiana. It wasn't a big, brightly lit truck stop with a Denny's. It was just a patch of cracked asphalt with 3 other semi-trucks and 1 rusty old Chevy parked in the darkest corner. The pole light was so weak it barely kept the bugs away. I knew the risk of sash was high out there. My gut screamed at me to turn the engine over and leave, but I was out of hours and exhausted. I needed to sleep. I feel safest on the road, but the poorly maintained infrastructure just leaves you exposed. I put the security chains on the cab door, which don't do much but make you feel better, and tried to relax on my bunk. I was reading a book on botany, I swear to God. You spend so much time surrounded by concrete and diesel that you start craving anything green. It's a weird thing I do to keep my head straight. Then I heard it. It wasn't just noise. It was the noise. A soft tap, like a knock on wood, on the door of my trailer. Way in the back, I froze.
Sachet.
I call it the harassment dance. They circle, they test the door, they see if anyone's awake if you're an easy target. I grabbed my tactical flashlight and my pepper spray, which is always clipped to my seatbelt. I kept the panic alarm in my other hand. I wasn't getting out of the truck. No way. The truck is my fortress. I stayed silent, hoping it was just an animal or a junky looking to siphon diesel. But then came the voice, low, gravelly, right outside my window. "Hey there, little lady. I know you're in there." I was petrified. The cab window has a tiny vent opening for circulation. He was inches away from me. It couldn't have been more obvious. He was there to scare me, to coerce me into opening the door, or worse. That's when it got creepy. He started knocking on the side of the truck. Slow and rhythmic. Thump, thump, thump. The sound echoed in the cab, making the truck seem like it was breathing fear. Then he started humming. A horrible, distorted nursery rhyme. It was pure psychological terror. I thought about Sarah, my road sister. She taught me never to be a victim. The only thing that would save me was having agency, to act, not just react. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I turned into the cold, calculated trucker the system forced me to be. I turned on my phone camera, pointed it toward the curtain crack, and started recording the audio. Every sound of that voice, every knock. Then I made my move. I remembered my air horn. It's loud. Loud enough to wake the dead. Or at least the other drivers. I waited for the loudest thump, and at that exact moment, I slammed the button like my life depended on it. The sound ripped through the night. It was deafening. The guy swore loudly, and I heard the sound of feet scrambling on the asphalt. I threw my body against the seatbelt, but I didn't care. The dirty bitch roared, and the silence that followed wasn't peace. It was shock. I called 911, and then I texted our sisterhood group chat. Truck stop 45, Indiana. Sash in progress, code red. 10 seconds later, I got a rolling now from Mary Lou, who was 40 miles out. I stayed there, wide awake, until dawn, with the keys in the ignition. The sun came up, pale and weak, and only then did I truly breathe. I didn't sleep, but I survived. And I had the proof. I had the recording. Life on the road isn't freedom. It's a constant fight to earn it every mile. And every time the sun rises, I remember that my truck isn't just a job. It's the front line of a war. And I'm the only one in charge here.
Thank you so much for your company. If this story kept you hooked, don't forget to click on the card to watch the next story.